the way is Anton Ladygin in streaming wet conditions, really quite vile. It's been raining all day long. Went to bed last night, it was dry, woke up this morning and the forecast rain had certainly arrived. And James Nash, it is still here, so I'm afraid for your second race I can't see even the remotest chance of even troubling that nice pile of slick tyres that everybody would love to use here at Monza.
No, the benefit is I suppose we've got them for another race, but I think there's about 5 kilometres of puddles here, so it's, I think a canoe would do better. Offshore
powerboating with these cars. Karamchev there lying in third place on the grid. So Russian drivers first and third. Not unfortunately being replicated in the World Touring Car Championship. Neither of the Ladas making the start of the race, unfortunately, after coming together in qualifying. Most unfortunate. Well, let's have a look then at the grid. It is Anton Ladygin who is the man on pole position. Number 6, the BMW of Chris Fischer. And then Igor Karamchev in third spot. Fourth, Peter Fulin, another BMW. Another front-wheel drive car on the left-hand side. That's one of the SMT Seats, so slightly different, of Anton Dablander. Peter Rickley in his Honda lies in 6th position ahead of Aurélien Comte and Jordi Oriola, who were second, Comte, and first, Oriola, in our first encounter. And Oleg Petrikov right behind them. Normally would fancy his chances in a BMW of getting them on the standing start. Now he's just going to sit there spinning up some spray while all the front-wheel drive cars weave around him.
Yeah, it's almost you've got to pull away so gently off the line. Almost just pulling away normally is better than trying to do anything else, because once you got wheel spin, that's that's the end of it.
Well, what I don't know, Nathan. Anna, here's a question: what you would tend to do in something like the BMW is think about maybe sticking it in second gear and putting a lot of revs on so the engine doesn't die, but so that it doesn't instantly spin the wheels up. Now, with a sequential gearbox like the front-wheel drive cars, can you do that? Or once it goes from neutral, are you in drive trying to stop it stalling?
No, they'd have to turn up to the grid in second gear, because once you've stopped, put it into neutral, you can generally only select first gear.
Right.
So yeah, if they turn up to the grid in second, then that's fine, but they'll be on the clutch for a long time. Some clutches are pretty heavy if their legs aren't strong there.
Well, the other thing is that you tend to end up burning it up a little bit. Well, as before, starting behind the safety car, so there is going to be no standing start. Now, I wonder if they're going to do that for this afternoon's second World Touring Car race. That would be quite interesting. But the lights are off on the Maserati. Bruno Carrere, I'm sure fairly gratefully, heads to the pit lane as the race gets underway. So it is Anton Ladygin. The standings you're seeing at the moment are championship points after race 1. Kevin Kramer's leading the Super 1600s, and Ladygin making good his escape. So actually that helps the BMWs, who didn't have to worry about a standing start. And it's a couple less minutes where the tyre temperatures will be just disappearing while they sat on the grid.
This is Ladygin's chance to get away. We know these cars are quick, so he can really make a break for it.
Karamchev in third place, and Peter Rickley having a battle with Aurélien Comte, already under braking. Comte had to give that place back to the Swiss, but only just does, and the Honda remains in front, and here is the challenge for second place already. Goodness me, it's not taking long. Christian Fischer in the BMW has already lost second place to Igor Karamchev. So Nikolai Karamchev, what am I calling it? Where's Igor come from? Nikolai Karamchev in the number 54 Seat. And Dablander also gets by Peter Fulin. Dablander started 5th. He's 4th at the Roggia on their first flying lap, so he's not wasted much time either.
Dablander looks like he's on a bit of a mission, actually. He's looks quite aggressive there.
Ooh, Peter Rickley having a little bit of a wobble. Now that was...
Did he get a nudge?
I don't know, that's a good question. In these conditions, who'd be a steward? Aurélien Comte does go by, and he's got race 1 winner Jordi Oriola behind him.
He's got his window open again, so he still hasn't sorted out his problem from before.
Water in the electrics, I don't know, who knows? Well, he may well have done it deliberately. I don't suppose if it came down in the heat of battle and you didn't want it open, you'd have gone to the grid a second time with it still open. Dablander taking a look at Christian Fischer for third place. Peter Fulin in the BMW in 4th. Peter Rickley's red and green Honda, one of the easiest cars in the field to spot. And oh dear, Oleg Petrikov's got Nick Hamilton in his rear mirrors. Gilles Bruckner of Luxembourg, straight lining the Roger in his 1600 Fiesta.
Look at that, a few headlights, that's all we can see.
Ladigan leads. I don't know how much you can see when you're looking in the mirrors, just glare from the lights, I guess, can't identify who's what.
Yeah, just a couple of headlights and that's about it. Oh, he's done it, that's a good move.
Well, the BMW is just struggling to hold the line in any way, shape or form, and Dablander can get the power on nice and early. Again, the front-wheel drive car having the weight over the driven wheels, all of those factors help you when there is much more restricted grip. The BMW with a much more even balance, better for wet roads, but not necessarily for dry roads as well, but not necessarily for wet racing.
BMW is probably a bit more fun to drive. Oh no, what's happened there? Oh, big crash.
And who's he been involved with? Somebody's left a lot of debris. Is that the back of his car?
That's a lot of damage. Oh,
yes. And that's his, oh no, that's the board. That's where most, left rear wheels astray as well. And he clatters into the back of Peter Foulin. He's pretty much out of control at that stage, trying to get it stopped.
Matajowski, it's Matajowski.
Matajowski. No, he's gone off separately, hasn't he?
Is there oil down or something?
Or just a big puddle appeared. Well, you see, again...
One of those moving rivers, yeah?
Yeah, that's entirely possible because the water just builds up, and occasionally it'll sort of overflow a curb like a river bursting its banks, and then it creates a lake that wasn't there 2 or 3 minutes ago, as little time as that. Ladigan still leading. We only need a third of our entry list, just the SMT cars. We're done. Anton Ladigan, the race leader, with the red, white and blue of Russia on his car. The Russian Racing Bears. Racing Russian Bears. And Christian Pfister with Peter Foulin behind him, and Aurélien Comte looking to get back on the podium again. So 1, 2, 3 Seats. Foulin not going to risk an inside move on Fischer there for 4th place.
They should get a better drive out of here if he can keep that clean.
See the back bumper, the corner of the back bumper of Foulin's car is dragging where he was collected by Oriola. The marshal's trying to tidy up at least some of the polystyrene. You say, well, why would they bother? Well, because you get one of those under your wheels under braking, and you're certainly not helping yourself.
Hopefully they got the slippery surface flag out as well.
And unfortunately, see now, if you tag a radiator in this as well, unless they're just using plain water, that will make the surface even more slippery. Coolant doesn't tend to be very good for grip. Foulin's having a go.
Are the yellow flags still out down there, or have they gone in?
And if they are out, could you see them? Well, the leader of these three, Foulin, probably could. The others, you'd be lucky.
No yellows, just a slippery surface flag, so they're all right.
Getting worse and worse and worse. And Aurélien Comte is sort of like stuck behind 2 trucks on a motorway. Every time you get out of a corner, suddenly he's blind and has no idea where the 2 moving bits of machinery in front of him have got to. I mean, how much are you just keeping your foot buried and hoping as Comte tries to make a run here?
It's down the 2 main straights. It's literally just a mist in front of you. You're looking for your marker points, the first bridge, the second bridge, then the 500-metre board, the 300-metre board, so you can't see anything. The next thing you see is a brake light.
So it's more like dense fog than actual rain on a motorway.
Totally. It's you've just got to commit to where you're going and what you're doing. That's a good move there.
Yeah.
Well, a good drive out.
Yeah, again, able to ride the curbs on the inside, whereas the BMW, if they try, will just get spat off. So gets a good run down into Lesmo 1, picks up 1 place from Christian Fischer. This is probably not the best race meeting for the BMWs, I'm going to suggest. Nikolai Ladigan still leading. Anton Ladigan leading, rather, from Nikolai Karamishev. Who is that?
That's done some damage there.
Oh my
dear.
Goodness me. Well, a single car accident, but a very big one for Romeo Luciano. Which the inverted commas, I think, suggesting that might be a non-complete.
Comp's got him here now. Yellow flag, he can't overtake.
No, he's going to have to back out of it.
Who are these 2?
He's going to have to back out of it. Eventually he slows down. You see, now the problem is, because he's possibly watching his mirrors, I wonder whether he was actually looking inside of him, and that's where the Fiesta barrel rolled itself into a ball of wreckage. Luckily for these guys, they're not going to Marrakesh in 2 weeks' time, because otherwise I think that might be a little bit of a steep ask.
It's going to be better weather than this.
Do you know, it'd have better, otherwise I'm going to ask for a refund. Here we go, change for the lead coming up perhaps. Ladigan giving away the toe, and of course, you know, when you are that close, any tiny little increment between identical cars, James, is just going to help you make a move.
Yeah, it's quite a big difference, but also the water that these tyres are shifting as well, it's helping the car behind, so he's getting a bit of a toe, but it's also got less water to shift as well, so it's helping him there.
See, things you never think about when you're sitting watching races that racing drivers learn. I would never have thought about that. You just think, oh yeah, he's getting a good slipstream and that helps, but of course, yeah, he's drying up the road a tiny bit. Oh, they're coming up behind our Super 1600 Fiesta of Ksenia Nix. Race leader 54 car, Nikolai Karamyshev.
Dablander looks like he's caught up quite a bit there.
He has, and of course that's what happens when you start to battle each other, is you actually slow down, both of you. So Dablander is with them, the battle for fourth continues, but not for long, I'm suggesting. Aurélien Comte goes through, same place he made the pass last lap, off the Roger, drives away as the BMW is desperately scrabbling for grip.
You really feel for these BMW drivers. They put it at the front of the grid and weather changes and it's total role reversal for them.
Just feel the carpet being whipped out from under you. They go by Nix as well, comped up to fourth place. And it is tough, and you think, well, you know, actually, how many more circuits could be less unfavourable for the BMW? At least this is predominantly long, fast straights and corners. It's only got 3 chicanes. You know, imagine Marrakesh in the rain. The BMWs may as well actually not bother leaving the pit lane because they'd just be nowhere.
You spend most of the time on the curbs. Is that a move?
Blue flags ambitiously being waved.
You're not going to quite do that there.
He was
Ooh, that looks a bit late.
You see, when you're looking at somebody and you're trying to make a pass, I think Dablander there may just have slightly overshot his braking.
Has he managed to get it on the inside? No. Again, he's going to get a bit of a toe. He wants the inside, really. So I don't know whether he can switch back across, because it's a better braking line on there.
Halfway through the race, he's caught the second place man in 5 laps.
He's going to be tight. Is he going to duck back in? He has.
Yeah. I think in the dry, he might have dived out from where he was. In the wet, not having any of that. Actually, he dropped right back there under braking. I wonder whether he didn't quite get the brakes he wanted coming into the parabolic and was just being very cautious.
Or is it? Yep.
Or whether yellow flag's out. That's Zaitsev. Oh, that's
dangerous.
Ascari. Malayev going around the outside in Seat. That was last lap. Foulin shedding a bit of damage. Bumper. Thank you very much indeed to the marshals for keeping the racers as safe as you possibly can. Our race leader continues, but I don't think the battle is yet over. Lap 6 of 10, FIA European Touring Car Championship at Monza. Camera there on the banking showing just how much spray is hanging in the trees here on this historic Parkland circuit. And in the single mate trophy as well as overall, that is your top 3. Karamyshev, Ladigan, Dablander all close together. Comte has now made his way past the BMWs. Ooh, Dablander makes a mistake. James Nash, that drops him away from the lead trio, and it'll take, what, a couple of laps probably to start to catch that gap up. Making a mistake is a lot easier than unmaking it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him into turn 1 as well. He lost a bit on the brake, so I don't know whether he lost his brake marker or just couldn't see. But he's just made another mistake, so maybe he's trying too hard now. Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
it's all right for some.
Ducks, no, tragically it wasn't even a duck, it was a goose. Never mind. Yeah, Norbert Mikulits, in fact, dropped out of your first World Touring Car race because he couldn't see a thing. Not because his wipers weren't broken, but because the car missed it up on the inside. In fact, onboard from Thiago in qualifying showed exactly that. And Matt Neal was explaining intelligent alternators that shut off systems that are over over demanding on the system, and unfortunately it seems that his electric heated window has been shut off.
Yeah, this is the difference between a new car and a well-developed car, and the Chevrolets seem to always be all right, and the new cars just having a few niggling problems.
Well, talking about Norbert Mikulits, there are the orange and black colours of Zengo Motorsports. Zoltan Zengo running a junior team here, 2 drivers, Ferenc Fischer and this man, Norbert Nagy, both of whom raced in the series last year, and I think they did Euro Cup before as well, I recall. Top 3 go through safely, lapping Xenia Nix in his Super 1600 Fiesta. Super 1600 leader, I think, still Kevin Kramers. Incidentally, we lost Peter Rickley, who was the Super 2000 winner in race 1. He's retired. I'm not sure that we saw what happened to the Honda, but he's not been on the timing screen, only did 2 laps.
Hamilton up to 8. He's got to be a bit happy with that this time.
I should think so. Well, first time ever at Monza, apart from obviously on you know, your PlayStation or whatever. And okay, so he's had qualifying and practice and so on, and then you completely change the track, totally and utterly change the track. Oh, plus you throw him into a brand new car with 300 horsepower compared to the, I don't know what the Clio Cup has, sort of 160 or something. So it's a bit of a moving playing field for him. So he's certainly learning fast.
Yeah, he's got a lot to learn, and the quality of drivers in any FIA championship is much raised as well. So his game will be raised, and he's doing a fair job now. Yeah,
great step forward for him. Well, Andreas Pfister there, getting the advantage on the battle of brakes with...
Dablander looks like he's closed in a lot as well.
He has, but is he bringing Aurélien Comte with him? He is not. So he is closing in on Anton Ladygin. There is your race leader, the predominantly white car of Nikolai Karamishev. Papa's Racing Team is the name of the squad. Russian Bears running Anton Ladygin, and Aurélien Comte with Galaxy Racing in 4th place. Mario Dablander for HRS Motorsport in 3rd. Some hardy fans. We always think, of course, of British fans being hardy, because, of course, we have this weather all the time. But I think the Italians occasionally just have to put up with some of this. It's not always scorchio here in Monza.
Oh, always looks like he's going off there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Always. It's obviously his line, but it gives me a fright every time.
Yeah, his but not yours.
Yeah.
You won't be experimenting with that yourself then.
No, I think I think I'll stick to my one at the minute.
Leave that to Dablander. Well, the Austrian hasn't gone off yet, and actually he seems to be not losing any ground to the more traditional line of Anton Ladygin.
See how he is on the brakes this time.
Well, he's
a lot closer.
Well, he is, but he's sitting out there just to get some visibility rather than to have a launch. Of course, the other thing is, and what we're seeing in the background,
oh,
the BMW.
Oh, I almost saved it.
Yeah. The problem is, with a tank slapper like that, you're never going to save it, are you? It's never coming back. And Oleg Chebotarev. Here comes Andreas Pfister. Pfister in only 9th place, which is unusually low for him. Did stop before the end of the first race, didn't he? Went into the pits at the end of lap 9 of 10, and
That's how much he can see. He couldn't see the edge of the track there.
Blimey, it is like driving around the M25 on a Sunday evening with the halts, the lame and the random in front of you. And about the conditions you get most of the time as well. Aurélien Comte coming through past one of the back marker BMWs in the background as well, but he's a bit too far away from this, you sense, James Nash, really to play any part. This is lap 8 of 10, unless these two chip over each other and come to a grinding halt. I'm sure he's going to be able to close.
Oh, I don't think they'll make it. I think these two are going to battle it out for the end. He just needs to keep it nice and tight. Running that white line on the way in just looks so dangerous. These white lines are so slippery, they've just been painted.
Any motorcycle rider will tell you the one thing you don't do in the rain is go on anything that's been painted, because you might as well be riding on ice. Of course, these have got 2 more wheels to play with, but the effect is the same. It effectively means you've got no grip at all on half the car.
Yeah, it's the loaded tyre as well, just as they're about to turn in, but it doesn't seem to affect them. They seem fine.
Perhaps they've got so much chronic understeer they can't tell.
You can't feel that bit.
Yeah, I think
Dablander's line again.
Yeah. See, they're both kind of Midland leg in the track, aren't they? They're not going right out to the edge as you might do even on the exit, because they just want to stay away from all that oil and rubber that gets laid down over the years, over the decades.
This is a good run.
He's going to get close enough.
Oh,
he gets level.
Run.
Now, can he put the pressure on the Russian and force him to concede the corner?
He's not
Slow
on the
traffic in front. Didn't work for Dablander rather. The Fiesta was on his line, so Ladigan didn't need to play chicken. Karamishev in front got by his Fiesta pretty quickly as well.
Who's the sat behind these two? He looks like he's catching pretty quickly.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? That's Aurelien Comte, I think, still, and maybe he's had a better run with the back markers.
Looks like he has.
Yeah, they got by Ivanchenko quite easily. Oh, more yellow flags out. So that was Ksenia Nix, who's a lap down on the rest of the Super 1600 field at the moment. As the front runners in, well, all three classes are going to go by him while he's sat there. Dablander through the Lesmos. No, you're not going to have a look up in the inside into Lesmo 2, not in these conditions. That would be foolhardy in the extreme. Might find a grip, but I'm not sure the driver that you're trying to pass would ever see you.
This could be a three-way battle for the second place on this last lap.
Yeah, could well be. Aurelien Comte is coming up hard. Lap 9 of 10, leader makes his way happily past another of the Super 1600 cars, Gilles Bruckner. From there is second place Anton Ladigan.
Sort of the switch back.
My goodness, he has. Mario Dablander gets a good run going. He's going to have to go on a line that he hasn't used in either race, I don't think. The normal racing line on the outside. He's got a Fiesta in front of him again as they get to the braking area.
Has he done it? He has.
Yeah, Ladigan decides. Well, Ladigan there, I think, James, was having to try and decide whether he'd get by both of them or neither of them, and I think neither was probably the right answer, don't you?
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to think about the longer term as well. He wants to finish this race. It's going to be a bit of a do or die move, I think, for him.
Yeah. Into the first corner.
Pretty close there.
Close as you like.
Oh.
Klaus Pingler clearly not been able to see much in his mirrors. Two Russian BMWs go by. Last lap of the race then, so our leader is still Nikolai Karamishev. Second place for the first time is Mario Dablander. And third, Anton Ladigan.
Might see some of his pace now if now he's cleared.
I wonder what's that, 1, 2 point something seconds. Is he going to catch that in a lap? He'll be doing well if he does. Replay of last lap of the Ukrainian spinning out. These little things, I'm afraid, once they go, can't see there's enough power in a Super 1600 Fiesta to drive your way out of that polar moment. It's always going to go. And they go by our Super 1600 leader, who once again is Kevin Kramers.
By 11 seconds, that's a fair amount.
Yeah, they put past Bruckner, didn't they, a long way back. And unless Kramers gets held up or nerved off by the leading trio overall, he will be a shoe-in for win number 2. Actually, with the experience that he and that team have got of those cars, wouldn't be at all surprised to see him do a bit of an Ivan Muller, actually, and set the pace for the rest of the class. Down into Ascari for the final time then is our race leader, Nikolai Karamishev.
Yeah, another big puddle there. You have to say for these sets, they're going to want it. The SMT class going to want it raining all the time, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yes, they're certainly showing a clean pair of heels to anything else.
And these poor BMWs have really struggled.
Well, Karamishev should be clear here. He'll take a long look in the mirror and try and figure out not who's behind him, but how far that headlight is behind him, the bright one, and whether it's closing or not. And there's sort of enough time on the straight to look at it for a couple of seconds once you get out of Ascari before you have to turn your attention to the parabolic, which he safely negotiates. Checkered flag awaits. So 2 races, 2 different winners. Nikolai Karamyshev takes victory in race 2. Mario Dablander second, Anton Ladygin in third. Aurélien Comte is 4th in his Seat, and first Super 2000 car is Peter Fulin, just ahead of Ferenc Fisa in the junior team, who is our 6th position finisher and the 5th of our Seat Leon Cooper cars. And there is Kevin Kramez, diverting most of the horsepower of his 1600 Ford engine into the wiper motor, and rightly so.
Hamilton 7th.
Yeah, good result indeed for Nick Hamilton. And he's in front of Christian Fischer's Super 2000 BMW in 8th. And I didn't see any notification of penalties for the stewards to be looking at either, so that may well stand. So where did the top Fiesta finisher finish? We get down to 16 in the results, and we haven't got to Kevin Kramers yet. Do you think they know the checkered flag was out? I think they do, yeah. Again, look at the track. You can see how many just streams of water running across it here, because of course, although it's not banked like the old banking, it is slightly banked, and there is a crown in the road on the straights to try and stop it just filling up, basically.
You can feel those streams as well as you turn in. You can feel the understeer, then a grip, and the understeer really unsettles the car quite a bit. So.
Pleasant.
It's just what you want, eh?
Yes. I wonder if do the simulators do that? Do the you know, if you play wet on a simulator, does it just reduce the grip level, or does it do things like that?
Actually, that's one thing I've never done, is a simulator in the wet. So
I bet you will.
I will do from now on. Yeah, I need to as well. It's a definite thing that needs to be done. So winner to nothing there then.
Yeah. 0 Jordi Oriola. We didn't quite see in the ball of spray what happened. Actually, do you know what? I think there's probably a very good possibility in that ball of spray that he's not quite sure what happened either. We saw the end result, and he'll be aware of that as well.
I know there's some big puddles on the right-hand side going into the first corner, so whether he just caught one of those and it all locked up and snapped on him. But
well, the other thing is, you know, when even when you're some way from where you think you're going to brake, if the guy in front suddenly gets the willies and thinks, "Oop, I'm going to hit the brakes because somebody in front of me appears to be stopping dead," then again, it's like being on a foggy motorway, you know. Oh, driving far too fast for the conditions, said police. Peter Fulin, our Super 2000 winner from Christian Fischer, and Dusan Borkovic, who was in 3rd in Super 2000. Peter Rickley dropping out, and unfortunately, Rickley, who won in Super 2000 in race 1, not scoring particularly strongly there. So, as in the SMT, 2 different winners. First race winner not really scoring at all in race 2, throws the field open a little bit in Super 1600. Kevin Kramers, Gilles Bruckner, I think Ivanchenko, well, I think put the wrong piece of paper away. Was Ivanchenko 3rd in race 1 as well? No, Uli Kraft wasn't. Ivanchenko was 4th, so he likely to be tied with Uli Kraft then for 3rd place, and she will have led the ladies' trophy. Jet dryers out. Yeah, very NASCAR. I think less to dry, more just to
blow away.
Blow all the polystyrene away. Yes, absolutely. And there's not an awful lot that you can really do about this water. That just indicates how much there is. Single wettest World Touring Car race ever was in Turkey. Oddly enough, was it the first time we went, or the second time? It just rained cataclysmically. It would properly Noah in his Ark weather. And the first race was delayed by 2 hours because inside, it wasn't the first corner sequence, one of the corner sequences, there was just a lake that was literally the whole width of the track.
I thought we were meant to follow the sun.
Well, yeah, but occasionally it does rain in you. So single mate trophy, Karamyshev with the lead there. Oriola 3 points back. Dablander and Comte tied in 2nd place. And Ladygin, our race 2 winner, who didn't score in race 1, in 5th position. Junior team drivers 6th and 7th, which will certainly, I'm sure, please the man in charge of the Zengo junior team, Zoltán Zengo. So supporting lots of Hungarian drivers. Super 2000, Peter Fulin, the leader, with a very strong result, 2nd and 1st in classes. Christian Fischer and Nick Hamilton, 3rd in the points after his first weekend in a Super 2000 car of any ilk, and his first weekend in the European Touring Car Cup. So you'd have to say, box firmly ticked, I think, there by Nick Hamilton. That's a very strong start to the season for him against far more experienced drivers at this level. Kevin Kramers with a perfect score so far. Gilles Bruckner in 2nd place. Uli Kraft and Oleg Ivanchenko, as I expected, tied for 3rd in the Super 1600 class. And that's pretty much it from Monza. My thanks to James Nash, and wish him the best of luck in the wet in race 2. We'll see you next time out.